Hi, I'm Tony Nichols, and welcome to Chamber Chat. Hi, and welcome back to Chamber Chat, a program put together by the Salisbury Area Chamber of Commerce to keep you informed about what's going on in the community and your chamber. Joining us today is Mr. Gary Mackes, starting our program off, the Wicomico Recreation, Parks, and Tourism Director. Gary, welcome to the program.
Good morning.
That's a mouthful there, Wicomico Recreation, Parks, and Tourism. But I happen to know that there are a lot of tentacles that go along with that title and that organization. Can you tell us a little bit about the mission behind the organization and what you do?
Well, the department is charged to operate the Youth and Civic Center, county's public recreation programs, the park system, which consists of 36 sites, and tourism, which is one of many economic development engines in our community. We're pretty much in the quality of life business, and we leverage those assets that we're responsible for to stimulate economic activity.
A couple of words there you in your answer there, quality of life. Tell me how those kinds of events impact the quality of life for the citizens of Salisbury.
Well, think about it. Last year the department produced over 1,000 events, generating attendance of 1 million. Now, breaking that out with the Civic Center, 800 of those events were held there, from Disney on Ice to the Martin Luther King DPI banquets, to the International Poodle Show, to high school graduations. Recreation programs, we've offered 250, 14,000 people registered for those, and our attendance exceeded 220,000 visits. And our activities there range from after-school childcare to senior citizens programs, camps and sports leagues, environmental education, and numerous special events. And last, with tourism, there were 30 events. 27 involved bringing groups to town. 3 were signature events, attracting over 280,000 people, of which most of those folks were from out of town, but yet our local citizens had the opportunity to participate in them as well.
That ties into my next question, and you may have fully or partially answered it in that answer in and of itself. What does your department do, or how does it tie in to, and it's not necessarily a buzzword, but it's certainly one that is top of mind these days, economic development?
Well, when we have signature special events like the Autumn Wine Festival, the Beer Festival, and Pork in the Park, we bring people from out of town. We do demographics, and about at least half of the people that come to our events are not from here. Most of them drive at least 60 miles away and even further. So when they come here, they obviously spend money in our community. That's a small part, though, of what we do. We actually obtain amateur youth athletic tournaments. Girls softball, youth wrestling was just here last week. They're coming here in 2 weeks later. One's an Eastern National. The International Poodle Show is coming in here this week.
That's a big
for
event.
a whole week.
Yeah.
So when they come here, they're staying in our hotels, eating in our restaurants, shopping in our stores, and going to our attractions. So they do spend money in our community.
I would assume the economic impact of those types of events generates a lot of revenue. I assume it is this revenue that funds your department, your division.
Yes, the tourism is funded through hotel room tax. Okay. And your assumption is correct.
All right. So what type, now you just gave me the hotel room tax. What other types of businesses benefit from all of these activities that come to town?
Restaurants, our retail shops, and entertainment, the movies, and Crown Sports Center, places like that. When people come to town, they'll. So
there's a pretty broad stroke in terms of the impact of these events. I know the girls softball world championship. I've been an announcer there, and just seeing the buzz and the excitement and the electricity in the air, just in being in that event, that spills over. I would think spills over into our community.
not only our community, but Ocean City as well. It is so big that all of our rooms are full for 2.5 weeks, and a third, in addition of the participants, are staying in Ocean City. So it impacts a regional economy, not just our local economy.
Sure. I know there have been talks, I've been privileged enough to be in meetings where we're trying to create some synergies with the Department of Tourism and the Chamber of Commerce. How do you see the interaction between the Chamber and your department in creating a better mousetrap, if you will?
Well, I think the Chamber has a lot to do to enhance the visitor's experience as far as value and a portfolio of things that our visitors can do. So you can also help us to retain and obtain and develop the events that we have here, so that what we do here is a real difference maker when people are choosing where they want to hold these events. And the last piece for the Chamber is to become engaged and to even actually help us embellish our strategic plan.
Mm-hmm. Very good. I want you to put on your crystal ball or look into your crystal ball, look out 5 years. Where do you see your department in 5 years? What are we doing? What does it look like?
I envision expanding the Henry Parker Sports Complex and modernization of the Civic Center. Those two things need to happen so that we can leverage them to make Salisbury, Ocean City, the East Coast destination for amateur, youth, and adult sports events. I believe when this is done, our economic activity will increase by at least $10 million. What it currently is over 20 million to 30 million. So what does that really mean? It means in amount of occupancy right now, what we're doing, our book is about 4.5 full occupancy weeks for our hotels. We'll be jumping up to 7. When you think about even Ocean City's main season of 10 weeks, right, we're at 70% there, to give you an idea what the volume of that activity means to our community.
Before we let you go, I'd like you to speak to what I feel like is your signature event, Pork in the Park. That's right around the corner.
Yes, we usually have it this coming week, but it fell on Easter. And maybe it's a blessing in disguise, because May's the weather gods are a lot more favorable. Right. But it'll be held on May 9th and 11th, and it opens on Friday at 4 o'clock to 10, Saturday from 10 to 10, and Sunday from noon to 5. $7 admission for adults. On Mother's Day, mothers get in for $3 on Sunday or Mother's Day. Children under 12 are free. We got a lot of new stuff coming with this event. We're going to actually provide an opportunity for people to become judges. They can sign up for that. We got a rising country star that actually played with Taylor Swift and Miranda Lambert on Friday night, Brad Paisley by the name of Charlie Worsham. They'll close the festivities that evening. We got, with Purdue Stadium, a run or die. We have 5,000 people already signed up for it. Most of these people are from out of town. And on Saturday night, we're going to end with Southern rocker Jimmy Van Sant, who has a lot of background with 38 Special, if you're a little older, from our genre, but quite a musician. We're going to have Joey Chesson here, the hot dog eating champion.
Oh, yeah.
For the Eastern Shore Wing Contest again on Sunday, and amateur barbecue, as well as the professional competitors coming here. It's going to be quite a week of barbecue festivities.
Sounds like you might just outdo yourself this time.
I hope so.
Gary Mackes, thank you for coming to Chamber Chat and sharing with us what your department does and maybe some of the upcoming events that are coming our way.
Pleasure.
Take care. Well, you're watching Chamber Chat on Pack 14, and right now we'd like to give you the opportunity to take a look at the upcoming events with the Salisbury Area Chamber of Commerce. Welcome back to Chamber Chat. Joining us now is Jenni Pastusak, the Assistant Vice President of the Community Outreach Division with the Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Okay, right out of the gate, tell us what your role is as the Assistant Vice President for the Community Outreach Division.
Pretty much my role is just to serve as the liaison between the networks, which we have under the division, and the vice president of the Community Outreach Network.
Just to dig into that a little bit more, as we've changed the structure of the chamber, why that is so important for maybe our viewers that they don't know is really the new ideas, the new activities, the new meetings, they come out of the networks, and then they bubble up through the assistant vice presidents to the presidents of the respective divisions, which ultimately then go to the board of directors to approve or join two networks together or two divisions together because they may be working on the same thing. So the role of the assistant vice president is really, to guide that process for the activities of the chamber. So it's a very vital role in my from my perspective. So what is the purpose of your division, if you could sum up what your purpose is?
Sure. The division pretty much looks at, what kind of events, services, and programs we can provide to enhance community partnership and really enhance the quality of life for the residents here in the area. What can we do to make Salisbury, Wicomico County better for the people who live here, eat here, and breathe here?
Right. I'm going to ask this question in a little bit different way because every time we've had someone that's come on that was a network chair or a division president or AVP, we've talked about this. Do you guys have committees or networks?
Well, we have committees and networks.
Okay.
And it's funny, we were talking about that earlier because, if you think about it, well, what's the difference? What's the difference between a committee and a network? It's really plain and simple. The networks provide networking opportunities to come up with these great ideas that we have.
Right.
Then the committees make it happen. They're the doers. So you take those ideas from those networking opportunities and the networks, and committees make it happen. You can pull people into committees that aren't necessarily, serve a specific title or role in the chamber, but hey, I think it'd be fun to help out with the Salisbury Festival.
Sure.
And they volunteer their time to help out with that committee.
So very few standing committees, but when the networks come up with the ideas, you put together an ad hoc committee to focus on that event or that task, and once it's completed, that committee dissipates, and then we wait for the next idea.
And I think it's easier for people to actually join a committee because they know, like you said, it's a project or a service or an event that they're dedicating their time to volunteer, and then when it's done, it's done.
It's not a 24-month commitment.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense. What kind of networks do you have within the division?
We have beautification, we have arts and entertainment, and we have education too. So all of three of them, if you think about it, education, beautification, arts and entertainment, as a community member, let's say I'm not a chamber member, all three of those topics are important to me as a resident of this area.
Should be very relevant.
Yeah, very relevant. And that's where the outreach part is, we're building community partnerships with the people here, not just definitely the businesses, but the people as well.
Sure. Specifically within those networks, can you give us some examples of activities that may happen within those networks?
Well, for beautification, we do things like Stash Your Trash Day and the Riverwalk Cleanup. If you notice the triangles at some of the stoplights in the area, it's pretty much just really enhancing the beauty of where we live and where we work. Education, Common Core is a hot topic. There was a lunch and learn that we put on for people to actually learn more about the Common Core curriculum. And another big education topic is dual enrollment. And this is an opportunity for us to be able to help provide transportation for kids who are in high school but can actually earn college credits while they're in high school. Arts and entertainment, there's no doubt. You got a Salisbury Festival, which was changed up a little bit this year, and I think it worked really well because they really wanted to centralize the location to downtown to really focus and highlight all that downtown Salisbury has to offer.
Yeah, a lot of those things that you just talked about, if they weren't present in the community, say for instance the Triangle Beautification effort, you really don't notice it until it's gone.
Yeah.
That's sad because we should be taking notice of it while it's here, and the effort and the energy that's put behind making those things as beautiful as they are.
Well, and I think too, though, if you think about the economic, stability and development of our area, I may live here forever, but it's the new guy who's coming in who notices that and
that's
sees
just driving
that
through
its value.
Right.
Yeah,
I agree 100%. Why do you feel that it is good for people or members to engage in your network, to get involved in these committees? What would you say to them?
Ultimately, I think it's important because this is where we work and thrive, and if we care about our community, really engaging as a chamber. We do a lot of business-oriented things because we are a chamber of commerce, but really engaging the local community is key to success here, because we could be doing everything in a little shell and not sharing what we have to offer to the rest of the community. It wouldn't really get us anywhere.
Right.
So I think engaging the community and the people and saying, here's who we are, here's what we do, is very important.
Here's the $64,000 question.
Okay.
You didn't know you were going to get one of those.
Uh-oh.
How can people get involved?
Very easy. You pick up your phone and you call the Chamber of Commerce. It's 410-749-0144 and say, hi, I'm Betty Sue and I want to help out with the Community Outreach Network, or I want to help with the Salisbury Festival, or I'm interested in education because I have 5 kids in the school system. Just call the Chamber and say you want to help.
Fantastic. Jenni Pastusak, Assistant Vice President for Community Outreach Division.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks.
We're going to give you another opportunity now to take a look at the upcoming events with the Salisbury Area Chamber of Commerce right here on PAC 14. Welcome back to Chamber Chat. Joining us now on the program is Mike Dunn, Chairman of Red, White, and Boom.
Thanks for having me, Tony. It's great to see you.
Glad to have this opportunity to talk with you. Let's talk about if there are 3 or 4 people in the Salisbury area that do not know what Red, White, and Boom is. Could you tell us what that is?
Sure. Red, White, and Boom is Salisbury's free community fireworks on the 4th of July. We hadn't had fireworks for a long time, and a bunch of us were sitting around somebody's backyard fire pit, and we came up with the name. Let's call it Red, White, and Boom. So instead of just being Salisbury's 4th of July, we call it Red, White, and Boom, and we kind of like it.
Very good. You being the chairperson of this event, you know, your past is filled with a lot of community involvement, past city council president. You could very easily sit at home, watch the council meetings on PAC 14,
Sure.
and just let someone else take the helm and run with things like this. Why are you doing this?
Well, I'm doing this literally. My wife and I were traveling to Assateague in the summer of 2011. And I turned to Karen. This idea came to me the night before, literally came to me the night before. And I turned to Karen and I said, I'm going to bring fireworks back to Salisbury next 4th of July. And she looked at me like I had 2 or 3 heads.
And you had a moment.
And she goes, well, how are you going to do that? And I said, well, I don't have any idea. The point of the matter is that this community has a history of people acting and making things happen. Ben's Red Swings is about to celebrate its 10th anniversary. That was an idea that was formulated out of sadness, but in jubilation, 2 parents got together and decided this is what we need to do to honor our son. And Salisbury is full of that. Its history is full of that. So why do it? Because the city of Salisbury cannot be what it wants to be if we don't have fireworks on the 4th of July. And it's as simple as that.
I don't see how you can disagree with that. And now we have a couple of shots from the from the event itself. Tell us what we're looking at.
Yeah, well, right there is that's some people getting the best view in the house on top of the Salisbury University parking garage. Salisbury University has been a wonderful host to us.
That's a beautiful shot there.
It is. I mean, that's what it's all about.
Exactly right.
It's kids. It's, we tell people to come on out and bring your lawn chair and park your blanket and just look up. And it's, it's a great place. Look at that. It's just beautiful. It's just people anticipating what's about to occur. And what's about to occur is the largest fireworks display, not at the beach on Delmarva, because Salisbury is the largest community,
Sure.
and I felt like we had to have the largest
Speaking of the fireworks,
display.
there they are.
There they are, and Fireworks Extravaganza does a great show, and it's wonderful.
Typically speaking, how many do you have in attendance?
Yeah, we've had, I'm no crowd expert.
Right.
I leave that to the experts, the public safety folks. We estimate around 10,000 people within that mile to 2 miles around Salisbury University. My logistics co-chair and very good friend, Bill Gordy, he left the second the fireworks started last year. He got in his car and he rode around.
Okay.
And he rode around the area. And it ended.
Looking at the parking lots.
Looking at the parking lots. Where are the people?
Right.
Eastern Shore Drive. And he came back to me afterward. He goes, looked at me really seriously. He goes, Mike, you got a big problem here. I said, oh my gosh, what's the problem? He goes, there's people everywhere. So that's why we chose the site. It's right in the heart of town. So you can come and put your lawn chairs at Bennett High School or at Parkside High School or at the Holly Center or at Salisbury University and down on Eastern Shore Drive and in the parking lots and in the medical complexes. Right. So it's just a really good spot to gather and enjoy the 4th of July.
You've spoken to this briefly in your comments you just made. Why is this important to do?
Oh, I mean, truly, Tony, it sounds trite, but there are tens of thousands of communities that put on fireworks on the 4th of July. And Salisbury, for the longest time, we were one of them.
Sure.
When I was a kid, my parents were very involved in the Salisbury JCs, they and their peers. And I lived and grew up right behind Y High. And at that time, the fireworks were launched right in my backyard. So I grew up with the entire Salisbury JCs and the membership and their families in my backyard. And it was something that was very, it struck a chord with me, obviously. But, I mean, it's the celebration of this community. I think it's taken its fair share of lumps over the last decade or so.
Sure.
And we don't need to get into them. But I think we needed a shot in the arm. And I think we needed to show that we can still do whatever we want to do as a community. And if you put an idea together and you set it in motion and you have passion and you get the right people and you get the right people involved. The mayor,
right.
Jim Ireton, has been wonderful. He has called my cell phone each 4th of July to simply say, what do you need? Do you have
right.
everything that you need? That's the kind of spirit that Salisbury is all about. And we have to have fireworks on the 4th of July. It's really, honestly, I'm repeating myself, but it's as simple as that.
Well, sitting here listening to your answer, going back to the video when it showed the silhouette of the children,
yeah.
I don't know of a person that I could talk to that didn't have an experience, a memorable experience, part of that experience that shapes who we are.
Yeah.
That they didn't have an experience at our fireworks.
That's right. The fireworks, the first year that we had them, obviously, I didn't know what to expect. I don't think anybody knew what to expect. But when you looked, it took me a full minute to look up because I was overcome with
Sure.
emotion and
Sure.
pride and community. And I looked up and I just said, wow, look at everybody. You hit the nail on the head. There's something magical about looking up on the 4th of July as Americans, as members of a community, and just celebrating the 4th of July. It's just good stuff.
I agree. I think we've talked a little, and there are a few changes
to
the locale this year.
Well, there's big changes. Salisbury University has been wonderful as our host site, but they're building a new tennis court complex. So we're moving the launch site to the Bennett Middle School athletic fields.
Okay.
This is pending approval with the Board of Education, and everything is coming along. And then we're going to set up Americana Avenue along right outside of Bennett Senior High School. So the Bennett lacrosse and soccer fields and the grassy areas near the front door and out by College Avenue, that's probably going to be the central spot. That said, Salisbury University is still opening all of its parking lots, and come view it and come to the campus of SU and really park your car wherever you want and just look up. That's the easy way to do it.
You'll still have that 2-mile radius.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Wherever you go.
We're moving the fireworks. In golfing terms, we're moving it barely a par 3 away from where it was before.
Fair enough. I read recently where there have been some exciting announcements surrounding Red, White, and Boom. Would you like to share that?
I'd love to. Let's start with the Chamber of Commerce.
Sure.
The Chamber, Ernie Colburn and I have been meeting, and Melody Carter and some of the officers have been meeting since last fall. And the Chamber has come on board as a partner, and we're thrilled to have that. They're going to lend their marketing expertise, thus I'm a guest on your show today, and help get the word out and help with some fundraising a little bit. The City of Salisbury, which has been so wonderful in providing police and fire and public works, they made a donation. The other night the City Council decided, with the mayor's request, they put $10,000 toward fireworks, and we thank them, and it's wonderful. And then the last major thing that we're doing is we're setting up a permanent endowment at the Community Foundation of the Eastern Shore. They have been wonderful. They serve as our fiscal agent, and all donations go there. So what we're trying to do is really create a better model forward. I've been out there, you're looking at the one-person fundraising committee, and we've successfully raised $46,000 in 2 years. But that's probably not the best way forward. So we've reached out, and we have some partners, and we're trying to create a better model forward, and I think we're on our way.
Well, I think this is just one more positive thing that Salisbury can say, you see, we can make a difference.
Absolutely.
Whether it's downtown or whether it's in the Bennett Middle School lacrosse field.
That's right.
When people with passion, as you bring to this, when people with passion make up their mind to do something, it's not a sale to the community. It's not a sale to the city council or to the mayor's office. It's a passionate conversation that people want to get behind. Hence the support of the chamber and the city. Yeah,
and the support of the community. I mean, it truly has been overwhelming. In my gut, I knew that this would work. The thing that I'm most proud of, we get these 10,000 people. In the 2 years that we've been doing this, there has not been a single public safety incident. There hasn't been a single police incident. The community of Salisbury is what it always has been. It's made up of great people who just want to gather and celebrate, and that's what we're doing on the 4th of July. It's been remarkable.
Mike Dunn, well done.
Oh, well, thank you very much, Tony. I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming in and talking about Red, White, and Boom, and I'll be there. We've been there the last 2 years, and we'll be there again this year.
Thank you very much.
I look forward to seeing you.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.
Take care.
Thank you.
Well, that's a wrap on this edition of Chamber Chat. As always, if you missed any portion of this edition or previous editions of Chamber Chat, we encourage you to log on to PAC 14's website and utilize their on-demand feature. You could also log on to the Salisbury Area Chamber of Commerce's website, where you can find this current edition as well as previous editions. That's about all the time we have for this edition of Chamber Chat. I'm Tony Nichols, encouraging you to make a difference.